The winds of change are howling through the corridors of Westminster, and the ground beneath British politics is shifting like never before. In a stunning turn of events that has left the nation holding its breath, two figures stand at the centre of a political storm that could reshape Britain's future. Sir Keir Starmer, the Labour leader whose promise of a new chapter for Britain now hangs by a thread, faces mounting pressure over allegations that could force his resignation. Meanwhile, rising Conservative star Kemi Badenoch positions herself as the torch-bearer for a new era of British leadership, sending shockwaves through the political establishment. The air is thick with tension as Westminster insiders whisper about closed-door meetings and emergency consultations. Starmer's journey from Director of Public Prosecutions to potential Prime Minister has hit turbulent waters. The man who built his reputation on integrity and accountability now finds himself caught in the crosshairs of a controversy that threatens to unravel everything he's worked for. Sources close to the Labour leader describe sleepless nights and intense strategy sessions as his team grapples with allegations that strike at the heart of his political identity. But this isn't just about Starmer's personal crises, it's about the soul of British politics itself. The Labour Party, still bearing the scars of past defeats, watches nervously as their chosen champion navigates these treacherous waters. Party veterans recall the dark days of previous leadership crises, yet this feels different. The stakes are higher, the public mood more volatile, and the consequences more far-reaching than ever before. Enter Kemi Badenoch, the Conservative MP whose meteoric rise has captured the imagination of Tory grassroots and sent shivers down the spines of her rivals. Her vision for Britain, bold, unapologetic, and radically different from the status quo, has energized a new generation of Conservative voters. In private conversations and public speeches, Badenoch has been carefully laying the groundwork for what many believe is an inevitable leadership bid. Her supporters speak of a politician who combines Margaret Thatcher's iron will with a modern sensibility that resonates across traditional political divides. The contrast between these two figures couldn't be more striking. Starmer, the former prosecutor turned politician, represents the establishment's attempt to reform from within. His careful, methodical approach to opposition has earned him respect, but also criticism from those who hunger for more radical change. Badenoch, on the other hand, embodies a new wave of conservative thinking. Badenoch's congressman to work with outward-looking Tory politics and traditional Tory assumptions about power and governance. As pressure mounts on Starmer, questions about his leadership style have evolved into something more fundamental. Can he weather this storm, and even if he does, can he still lead Labour to victory? His critics point to a pattern of cautious decision-making when bold action was needed. Supporters argue that his measured approach is exactly what Britain needs in these turbulent times. The truth, as always in politics, lies somewhere in between. The allegations facing Starmer, complex, multifaceted, and hotly disputed, have become a Rorschach test for British political observers. Some see a witch hunt designed to destabilise Labour, just as they seemed poised for a return to power. Others perceive legitimate questions about judgment and leadership that demand answers. The public reaction has been equally divided, with polls showing a nation unsure about who to believe or what to think. Meanwhile, Badenoch's rise continues unabated. Her speeches, combining intellectual rigor with populist appeal, have drawn increasingly large crowds. She speaks of a Britain freed from the shackles of both left-wing ideology and right-wing complacency. Her critics dismiss her as divisive, but her supporters see someone willing to tackle Britain's problems with fresh eyes and unprecedented determination. The parliamentary arithmetic adds another layer of intrigue to this unfolding drama. Conservative MPs, many privately questioning their own party's direction, watch Badenoch with a mixture of admiration and apprehension. Some see her as the answer to their electoral prayers, others as a risk too far. Labour MPs, meanwhile, close ranks around Starmer while privately debating contingency plans should the worst happen. The international dimension cannot be ignored. Britain's allies and adversaries alike watch these developments with keen interest. The possibility of Starmer's resignation and Badenoch's potential ascendancy represents more than just a changing of the guard. It could signal a fundamental shift in Britain's place on the global stage. From Washington to Brussels, Beijing to Moscow, analysts scramble to understand what these changes might mean for international relations. The media circus surrounding these events has reached fever pitch. 24-hour news channels run endless speculation about Starmer's future and Badenoch's ambitions. Social media buzzes with hashtags and hot takes, while traditional newspapers fill pages with analysis and anonymous sources. The information war is as intense as the political battle itself. Beyond Westminster, ordinary Britons watch these developments with a mixture of fascination and fatigue. They've seen political drama before, but this feels different. The combination of Starmer's potential fall and Badenoch's rise speaks to deeper changes in British society about class, race, ideology, and the very nature of political leadership in the 21st century. The economic implications loom large. Markets, ever sensitive to political uncertainty, have shown signs of nervousness. Business leaders speak of delayed investments and contingency planning. The pound sterling, that eternal barometer of British political stability, fluctuates with each new development. The stakes couldn't be higher for an economy still finding its post-Brexit footing. As this political drama unfolds, historical parallels abound. Veterans of previous political crises see echoes of past upheavals, the fall of Thatcher, the Blair-Brown rivalry, the Brexit chaos, yet everyone agrees this is different. The combination of personalities, circumstances, and timing makes this moment unique in British political history. The question of succession within Labour, should Starmer resign, adds another layer of complexity. Multiple potential candidates wait in the wings, each representing different visions for the party's future. The left wing sees an opportunity to reclaim control, while moderates fear a return to electoral wilderness. The party's unity, carefully maintained under Starmer, shows signs of strain. Badenoch's potential leadership bid raises equally compelling questions. Can she unite the Conservative Party's warring factions? Will her brand of politics resonate beyond the party faithful? The answers could determine not just the future of the Conservative Party, but the direction of British conservatism itself. Legal experts pore over precedents and procedures, adding their voices to the cacophony of analysis. Constitutional scholars debate the implications of various scenarios. The role of Britain's democratic institutions, from Parliament to the civil service, comes under renewed scrutiny. As this story continues to develop, one thing becomes clear. British politics stands at a crossroads. The old certainties are crumbling and new possibilities emerge. Whether Starmer resigns or survives, whether Badenoch rises or falls short, the political landscape is being reshaped before our eyes. The coming weeks will be crucial. Emergency meetings, late-night phone calls, and frantic negotiations will determine the fate of both politicians and their parties. The British public, often cynical about political drama, finds itself gripped by events that feel more like a political thriller than reality. Looking ahead, the implications of these events will resonate far beyond the immediate political crisis. They speak to fundamental questions about leadership, accountability, and the future of British democracy. As the nation holds its breath, one thing is certain: whatever happens next will be written into the history books as a pivotal moment in British political history. In this atmosphere of uncertainty and possibility, both Starmer and Badenoch represent different answers to the same question. What kind of leadership does Britain need in these challenging times? As the drama unfolds, the nation watches, waits, and wonders what tomorrow will bring. The story of British politics continues to be written, and its next chapter promises to be one of the most compelling yet.